All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody get joined in here. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Awesome, awesome. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, what a day today. So, another low volume day, but we'll take a look at that in a little bit here. So, today we're going to be wrapping up our discussion this week on day trading option flow. And today we're going to be talking about news. So, a pretty big deal in trading. So, before we do that, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So, please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to check and see where we left off in the market, and then we are going to take a look at the futures and see what we might have in store for the rest of the night and for tomorrow. And then we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started here. So SPX. Woo! What a day. What a month so far. What a last 5 months, last 4 months, as we've recovered from the Corona crash almost completely. Right? In fact, we did. I mean, we're actually above the Corona crash gap right now. So I kept this up here on the weekly chart. We have taken out this gap. Right? So that's done. So what we're going to do is right now we're just going to go ahead and adjust this and put that. We've got a little gap right here now. So that's something that we have to keep an eye on going forward. But, just a little thing right there. So we'll see how it goes. But pretty amazing stuff. That we're all the way up here. We're almost back to all-time highs of the SPX, right? This all started out with this, after the Corona crash, we had this bullish engulfing candle on the weekly chart, RSI oversold, and see ya, back to the upside. We got over the 30 weekly moving average and just continuing to plow its way up. If we go to the daily chart, you can see it wasn't that easy. But there were, some pushes up there. One of the interesting things, though, is that what we've been seeing is that if you go to the SPY, is that we've really been seeing a lot of decreasing volume going up here, right? It's been kind of weird, right? So it's like we're drifting up on low volume. It's like it's tough to be super confident, but at the same time, we are bullish until proven otherwise, right? We're over the upper trend line, we're over the ADMA, and continue to push our way up, right? So this gap is filled, and I mean, we really are. 50 points away. We could do that in a day if we wanted to get to all-time highs in the SPX. So very, very interesting stuff there. Let's take a look at the price action today. So it's interesting, right? So we had job numbers again, and the job numbers today were worse than expected, right? So that's the other funny thing is that we continue to go up in really what's kind of like in the throes of a depression. It's really kind of the craziest thing ever, right? But we had a down move pre-market. We'll take a look at the futures in a minute. Right, and then we kind of came up into the open, and we got a little bit of follow through at the open. But that sort of negative sentiment kind of carried over here, and we got a nice short opportunity right here on the SPX, SPY, S&P futures, and that gave us a nice down move. We caught a good piece of that today. We actually caught two pieces of it on the way down. And then we kind of came up again, retested the 15 orb high, back down again, and then we got our favorite inside 15 at the 15 orb low, which eventually got taken out here with a very strong candle and ended up projecting its move up for the rest of the day. So it was really an amazing move up today on the SPX, right? So it's really cool stuff. Here's levels that we provide to our members. You can kind of see how we held all these levels. It wasn't until we really got above these ones right here we had a really nice space between levels, and we got all the way from this R2 level all the way to R3. So really, really cool stuff today. And so let's take a look at the S&P futures and see how they're looking this evening. So it's pretty cool stuff. So this right here represented the gap filled yet was on the S&P futures, right? And so that's what I have highlighted here in this kind of light blue box right here. And this is exactly what happened, right? So we had the bad job numbers, and then they just rallied off of it, right? But what's cool is each morning we provide these signal zones to our members, and you can see we bounced off of this zone right here. These are basically supply and demand areas, right? And we pushed through here with a strong candle, came back, retested it, got to this. This is the open market right now. We got to the signal zone here, which you could see was a several bounces, like down, 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 right? So we hit the edge of that range right here, and that gave us our down move here this morning. So it's really nice right there. Then we chopped around for a little bit, and then we got back above that 15 orb, right? And this was kind of the key area, right? So one, we retested this upward trend line right here, and we didn't fall down off of it. And then we pushed into the next signal zone up. And then at this point in the group, I was mentioning to folks, I was like, look, there's a chance that they're going to at least retest the gap. But they took this inside 5 up with some big volume. This is one of the biggest volume candles of the day here on the 5-minute chart. And that really pushed it in this gap. So one of the things with the gap that we know about the gap is there's no volume in here, right? So what happens is it creates a suction. And, it's kind of like a little vacuum that brings it up to the next level. And this was the next signal zone up before the Corona crash. So this is just like sucked it right up right there and gave it a big move up, and then just kind of chopped around a little bit crazy here for the rest of the day between those zones. So right now the futures are kind of hanging out, right? So we've got this going on here. So we're basically right at this level right now. So let's see how that holds today. It might come back, retest those prior gap levels, and then we've got a couple other signal zones above that takes us back up to all-time highs. So we'll see how that goes going into tomorrow. And who knows? Maybe we'll hit all-time highs on a Friday, and then everybody's just like, yay for another summer weekend, that type of thing. So we'll see how that goes going into then. So anyway, good stuff, guys. So let's take a look and see. Let's take a look at our topic for today. So we're gonna wrap up today on day trading option flow. And today, we're going to talk about news. Okay, so news is a big deal in trading, right? So news can change things. Like some people say, news rules, right? And in a lot of ways, that's right? Because when big news comes out, whether it was a big tweet coming out, or something like that, or major news on something, it can really drive a stock, right? Ideally, we're on the technical side of a position before the news comes out, so we're kind of prepped for it. And a lot of times it does. Sometimes they do align very nicely. But sometimes we're not even looking at something, but news comes out, and we're interested in possibly getting in on the move, and we don't know when to do it, right? So one of the things that can help us with that is option flow, right? If we can get some confidence that some big money is behind it, in addition to just the news, we can look for that. So let's take a look at a couple examples here, and just kind of evaluate and see how we evaluate that, right? So really, this really comes to not only evaluating the options themselves or the flow itself, but really trying to see if the news itself is really how powerful the news is. So let's go back to yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we had the airlines, right? They were all strong, right? And one of the ones you saw me post it yesterday was American Airlines, one of the trades that we did in the group yesterday, right? So you can see we had some huge volume coming in yesterday, and basically it was like we saw the volume come in, and we saw American Airlines start coming. We actually started to see some flow coming in on the airlines, and we were like, what's going on with the airlines right here, right? Why is this moving, right? So sometimes it takes a minute to evaluate it to see what's really going on, and that's okay, right? Especially if the volume's good and it's steady, right? Because if it's really good news and then we start to get some really good volume, then chances are, right, it's gonna continue. And so once we figured out what was going on, it was like, wait a second, okay, so we had to figure out, all right, so it was like the GOP agreed that they were going to do $25 billion worth of a bailout money for the, for the airlines, or for payroll for the airlines. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's not really passed into law. They just said they were going to do it, right? I mean, is this really bullish? Right? And so you kind of have to wait and evaluate that. And I think, you can see a lot of traders did, right? You had this nice move right here, and it's like, okay, is this thing ready to go? Or it's just kind of hanging out there. It was also a nice geometric level breakout right here too with volume. So we had a 2 low volume candle right here, and then we had an inside 5, and then we're finally like, okay, let's see, right? And then one of the things that can help you with the confidence is that, hey, not only is there volume coming back in this, right, but at the same time, there's a lot of option volume, like mega option volume, right? When we looked at this at the time, like the volume on the AAL calls, I think it was like the 12 calls at the time, was like 95,000, right? There's some big flow coming in. There's some big volume coming in there, not just on the stock itself, but also on the options, right? And so that's the kind of confidence sometimes that can help a trader get in and get in the trade, right? So that ended up being great here on American Airlines, right? So the chart, obviously we talked about, plus the flow, plus the news, really gives you confidence to try to get in this and try to hold it, right? So that's the idea with that run. You can see yesterday on American Airlines, right, it did a great job, right? It held its ADMA up and just made it for a beautiful trade. And they got a little pop after hours, and it was kind of a bunch of blah here today. So, which is kind of interesting. We did get a pop. We did get some news on it today, but it didn't quite give the follow through, right? When they opened up the international travel, it's like, okay. But that gave the whole market, that was really kind of the catalyst between the big market move. It really doesn't make much logical sense, in the middle of a pandemic, but it is what it is, right? So it did drive things up, and that was enough of a catalyst to get things going, right? So pretty interesting, right? The airlines are kind of funny, just kind of going back in history. The October 1987 flash crash of the market, actually all came from the airlines industry. There was like a weak earnings report, and that really just sort of started to trigger things down. So it's interesting how the airlines are tied into the stock market so much, just as a little historical note for everybody. But cool stuff there on American Airlines. So that's one example. Another example is today, right? So Disney, right? So in our group, right, we have a Discord now, and in the Discord we plug in some option flow, and we also plug in a nice news stream too. And the news stream, we're kind of making it like a one-stop shop, right? So you can come in, we can talk about charts, we look for trades, post trades, and at the same time we can also evaluate news, and we can evaluate some flow that's coming through, and it's really leads to great discussions for the group, and it also helps us find some great trades too. So one of the things that we found today, we heard today on the news, was Disney. Okay, so Disney, as we know, they had earnings yesterday, and they had quite a day, and a nice breakout at the open. Right, so if we go back here to Disney, let me zoom in right here from yesterday. So had a huge move at the open, right? So this is a perfect technical setup yesterday. We cleared our pre-market levels, right? Got some nice volume, coming in, and a nice push up here, right, on Disney. So that was a great morning trade. Members did well on that, right? So but today, right, was different, right? So it was a follow through from Friday. So today the news that came out was Third Point Capital, right? You can kind of see it right here. I think it was where was it? Here. Disney shares moving higher. Hedge fund Third Point takes a new long position, right? So it was around 11 o'clock. The news came out. So around this time, there's some big volume on Disney, right? But this is where you kind of have to evaluate the news, right? So it's like, okay, so some hedge fund. Is buying the company. Now they're big, right, and they're influential and all that stuff. But is it enough to really drive the stock, right? And that's really kind of the question you have to have. And so, and really the answer, and then evaluate the flow. And a little bit of option trading came in on Disney right here. There was, but it wasn't major. It wasn't like the airlines, right? So that's where you kind of have to step back and be like, okay, if I am interested in this one, right, do I want to trade this potential breakout right here? Is this thing really going to go up on a hedge fund buying it, or is it just kind of maybe possibly setting up for another move later, right? And as it turned out, it was the later move, right? And so this was a beautiful pullback right here that it gave. You can see it gave a nice triangle right here, descending triangle. And what I really like about this one is how the volume really just kind of dropped off of it, right? And then it started to go, right? So here you had an inside 5, nice little doji, and then you got the reversal of this one, some good volume, and then you could ride this move up for a little bit more, right? So that, instead of just buying the instant breakout right here on the news, which is kind of like mediocre news, in terms of, the grade and all that stuff, a hedge fund buying into a company is kind of medium, but with the stock being pretty decent, right, and that we were, we had a relatively decent bullish day, right, we're getting over these zones right here too. That's where we kind of take it. So we look for a different type of setup, right? So it's just important to be able to evaluate the news and then see what kind of flow. So we had, mediocre news with mediocre option flow coming in, even though it was decent volume here on the stock chart. So we're kind of like, okay, maybe not, right? And then I think some more, there was a little more activity there, and then we got a nice push on that one. So Disney ended up giving a nice move today as well. So anyway, so that's basically what I wanted to touch on today. So it's really just evaluating the news and evaluating how big the option activity is to give confidence in a trade. And if it's not there, it's not there. Don't force a trade, right? But if you see a setup later that makes sense off of it, the technicals look good, right? Then it makes sense to do a trade. So anyway, good stuff. I hope you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to play those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible, so we can all have a great day, another great trading day tomorrow after a good night's sleep. So good stuff, guys. All right, so we got a few in here. Shirley sent in an email. So she's doing good. Just keep her in her thoughts and prayers. Again, sometimes stocks can be just a fun thing to take your mind off of things. And so let's take a look at a couple of these ideas right here. So we've got PH in the works. Yeah, so PH. Okay, so looking okay here. Nice little. It's looking like a cup and handle type pattern. So I'm liking that. So let's take a look. So we got this going on. Right, so it's trying to do a little bit of a breakout. Now it's got a little bit of room to get up there, but the trend is obviously bullish. Now here's the actual trend line right here, but you do have a nice geometric line right here, right? And so and it's breaking out of a range, so it's looking pretty good there. Some good volume here after earnings. So let's see if we can get some follow through on that, and maybe even just at least try to work its way up here to test the cup and handle level. So that looks pretty good. MAXR, let's take a look. Okay, so MAXR, wow, yeah, big day today. This is awesome. It's a huge breakout day today. Shares rise near the two-year highs after they raised guidance. Well, that's nice. We just had earnings and then we raised guidance. And so good stuff right there. Big earnings breakout day. Gap and go. Let's take a look and see how it behaved pre-market. Yeah, cleared all the pre-market levels for you. Right, nice breakout here. lower volume pullback, and then a nice move to the upside, holding the 80 MA on that one. So let's see if we get some follow through on that one. Big breakout candles like this one, right? What do we like to do? We like to watch the today's high to see if you can get a push above that, or see if you can get like a pause day or a little bit of a pullback in there before it gets going again. So good stuff on that. HLT. So so I mean, obviously hotels, right, struggling, right. So no doubt about that. We had earnings this morning on it, but hey, a lot of these bad news are better than recent news. So we had a nice doji sandwich up today. So let's see if we can continue to go and work its way up to the 200-day moving average on that one. PWR. Okay, decent move right there. Big upper shadow on this one, so that gives it a lot of work to kind of go back on this. But it is holding trend. It is still bullish until proven otherwise, right? So let's see if we can continue to hold that and get a move off of that. So good stuff there. And then AES. Yeah, AES is a nice breakout candle too, guys. I mean, we've seen that, a lot of decent earnings here, so that's good. But yeah, decent candle right here, closing over the 200-day, and let's just see if we can get some follow through on that one too. So good stuff. Great find, Shirley. Really appreciate it, and definitely in our thoughts and prayers. So have a wonderful one. Let's see. We've got another one in through Twitter here from Benson. Let's take a look here. So D-Dog. Has been just an epic uptrend. I think we talked about this one on the wrap-up vid today. Had a bit of a pullback here on earnings, but it is recovering pretty nicely right here. It looks like it's about a 618 retracement from the drop. So that's good. Yes, you're about a 618 right here. So now let's just see if that holds going in tomorrow. That's a good retracement if it's if that's where you want to get out. But the earnings were relatively good. So let's see if we get some follow through the upside tomorrow on that one. APPS. Yeah. So big move there on earnings. So same thing with this one. So this is just see how it holds right there on that one. So see if we push over those highs, and or if it wants to consolidate and continue to go. NVTA. Okay, so NVTA inside day. Okay, it's coming off of kind of blah earnings right here, but we got this geometric line right here. So see if this inside day can do anything interesting. It's kind of almost looking like a kind of a diamond pattern right here. So see if that holds and kind of breaks out of that zone. So good stuff there. And then GNRC. Let's take a look. So GNRC, yeah, just Generac, right? So this is actually not bad, right? So this is a generator company, right? So with the hurricane, this this can get a little hurricane rally too. So it gave a nice move up there, and a good tag of the this 175 level, and kind of pulled back off of that. So see how that holds going into tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting. Looking good. Thanks so much, Benson. Bagash, what's going on? Hope you're doing well and had a great day today. Let's take a look. Adobe. Yeah, so Adobe's had some bullish call flow recently. And I guess whoever we mentioned this in our group, we also do a morning note for our group as well, which is starting to really kind of take off. It's really great. Helps people get prepared who don't have time to get ready and just evaluate all these charts in the day, before the day. So it gives you a nice game plan in the morning. But a nice move right here, and again, we saw some steady option buying on this one recently, and it got a nice breakthrough day today on Adobe. So some good stuff there, and also good for the software sector too, which CRM is also a part of, and that got a nice move up a nice move up there as well off of this little compression right here. So let's see how that holds on that one. CRM's a tricky one, but nice move up on that one. Great finds on those. W. Still continue to work its way up here, and amazing, had a huge beat on earnings. So let's see if they continue to work their way up too. Incredible. And then PYPL. Let's take a look. PayPal. Inside day after it hit all-time highs yesterday. So let's see if that can hold and continue to work to the upside. So great stuff on those. Awesome. Great stuff, Baggage. Appreciate you. Hey, what's going on? Great day. I know. Awesome. Yeah, so good stuff on Apple. Good. I'm glad that helped a lot of people. So that was great. Where does it go from here? Now, that's a good question right there. Has Elliott Wave been exhausted? And can you advise on Square? Let's take a look. Yeah, so let's take a look here at Apple. So Apple, guys, great job yesterday. We spent a good deal of time talking about the double inside day, and it really ended up playing out pretty well, right? And why did we focus on this so much? Well, because Apple just had a big move up, right, after earnings, and then it just got really tight. And double inside days are really rare, right? That's your double yellow right there. So that's very rare. So usually we expect to get this contraction to expansion, right? Really these double inside days ended up forming a real nice triangle, right? We got a breakout today. So what we do have here is a triangle breakout with volume. It is trending. It is holding the 80 MA. It's getting a little bit extended over the 8. We do have ex-dividend coming tomorrow, so sometimes they do pull back on that. But it is up a couple points after hours, so let's see how it holds and if it continue to drift its way up going into tomorrow. So we're looking for some more upside on this one, but we're going to evaluate it tomorrow to see what kind of candle we get going on. So good stuff there. Yeah, and so the Elliott wave, it could just be getting started, on a fresh wave up, right? So we talked about it yesterday, so we're like, all right, so what was this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this could just be part of a wave 1, right? So a triangle occurs in a wave B, right? So this could have been, some sort of like A, B, C, I guess. So A, B, C. I mean, it's pretty tight in there. You'd have to go to the granular levels. But yeah, it could still be working on a macro wave 5, right? As long as it doesn't exceed the length of wave 3, right? So, I mean, really, this thing could go, as long as it stays below, 1520, right? Or 520. Right, it could get a move. So let's keep an eye on it. See if it gets up to 500. They might try to push it as high as possible, right? Because it's going. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, guys. Let's take a look here. All over the place here. So it does split at the end of the month, right? You got the 4-to-1 stock split at the end of the month. So they might try to push it as high as possible, right? To just juice it up as much before it splits, right? And then once it splits, we'll see what they do. We might get a lot of traders loading up at it at cheaper prices. So we'll see how that goes too. So it could be pretty cool. So good. I'm glad they did. I wish Amazon would do it. I wish Tesla would do it. Especially Tesla. It's like, come on. All right, so good stuff here. So let's take a look at Square. Yeah, so Square looking interesting right there. Obviously, I don't give advice, but I'm happy to show you, how I see things. So Square was interesting. It was on our bearish radar yesterday, but did not get any follow through the downside. In fact, it gapped up and gave an inside day, and a pretty strong one at that. So let's see how this inside day holds going into tomorrow. I don't know what kind of day we're going to have tomorrow. We've had a lot of low volume days, but we're still moving on low volume. So maybe Friday will be a super low volume day, but we still move anyway. But if they do try to push things into the weekend and try to get to all-time highs, then things like Square, could break out of that inside day and make a nice move. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. So let's take a look at Amazonius here. So Amazon, real low volume the last, well, not real low, but decreasing volume the last couple days. A little bit more than yesterday, but again, it's just kind of grinding its way up right here, right? So let's see if we can break above those levels and close above it and give us a move, possibly a momentum move on it would be interesting. And then Tesla again, guys. It was a tight day today, inside day yesterday. Right, it's just getting really, really tight in this triangle right here. So let's see, it's holding like these support levels. So we're expecting a move. Hopefully, some fun on Friday. Right, we love trading Tesla on Friday. Right, so gave a nice little triangle breakout. I tweeted that out earlier today. Gave a nice move up. Members did well on that one today. And that could have been the one that triggered this geometric breakout, but it just couldn't do it. Right, so let's see if tomorrow's the day where it tries to break out of there, one way or the other. So that'd be good. So. Think potential lottos? Yeah, it could be. Yeah, we could see some Friday lotto fun on that one. We'll see how that goes if we get a good setup intraday. Let's take a look at Boeing. Yeah, so Boeing looking interesting too. I like the recovery since the earnings drop, right? And then we had a nice doji sandwich up here. We ran into the cloud. It's finding that as a little bit of resistance right here, but it still seems like it's trying to gear up for another move. So let's see if it. I tweeted out earlier, I said it needs some news, right? So to get this thing really just kind of going again, like maybe like FAA approval, software is all good, right? And then boom. So we're just gonna, we're gonna be keeping an eye on that one to see how it goes. And then JMIA, the Amazon trading alternative, before it does hopefully a 10-to-1 stock split one day, had a huge move up there on the Amazon earnings, right? Pulled back. Now it's got its earnings coming up, and this has a double inside day too. And let's see if that gives a move. Now it's nowhere close to an Apple or anything like that in terms of its position or AMD, but it could be interesting, right? So, but it's chopping here before earnings, so maybe the chop will continue, or if we just have a crazy day tomorrow, maybe it'll make a move. So good stuff. Royal, what's going on? I hope you had a wonderful day too. Thank you so much. Let's take a look. Let's look at Microsoft, Mr. Softy. So Microsoft, guys, is becoming a drama stock for sure. I mean, this whole TikTok thing is getting it going. It's like, yeah, we're going to spend $30 billion. No, fake news. We're not spending $30 billion, right? So it's crazy. This is another example, right, of news. No real flow on this one today, on this news that they were like going to really aggressively pursue TikTok. And then you got, pretty much a nice little triangle right here, off at inside 15, and then it broke out here, a little bit of volume, just kind of drifted its way up today. So we've got that going on. So we kind of got out of this compression right here. So let's see, it's kind of sandwiched in there. Let's see if it can continue to push the upside on that one. And then we've got FSLY. So FSOI, huge move down on this one, but it's holding the upward trend line. So definitely want to keep an eye on to see if it gets some fall back to the upside. And I think it actually had good earnings, so I'm definitely looking for it to try to do another push. And then Melly, woo, tough one to trade, but yeah, all-time highs. Let's see if we continue to go. And then STNE. Again, another one too. This is one of those perpetual bullish ones, still kind of working its way up there too. Wow, lots of gaps all over the place, but a good day today. It's just not a lot of volume going on in this one, so just be careful with that. Michael Phillips, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so RKT, I tried to look this one up today. So Rocket Mortgage, it still has like the old name on it right here. But yeah, it had a big day today, green day today. So let's see if it goes right here. Obviously, the mortgage market is hot right now. Feels like 2009 again. Or 2008, and so they just went public here. This is Quicken Loans basically, but this is the now the parent company. So just went public on that one. So a big day for them. So let's see how these levels hold today. Right, WDC got clapped this morning, so that's definitely going on the bearish radar for tomorrow. Big move. This one actually, I really think affected the semis initially, but pre-market, but then they all just ended up doing their own thing, right? So let's take a look here. I'm going to put this on the bearish radar for tomorrow. That was a pretty nasty move down. We closed below a lot of these pivot levels right here. And that's some huge volume right there. So I mean, there's a lot of people that just want out of that today. So we'll see how that goes today and where it takes us. So I do like that on the bearish radar. Give me 1 second. Let me add that to the list. So WDC, and we got a couple of these right here. And let's see how that goes there. And then it's Friday. It's Friday tomorrow, guys. So think next week options. Because it's expiration day, right? So just be careful with that one. If you're not comfortable trading the momentum without any theta, then definitely look to trade next week's options. Or it's not sometimes Friday, especially if it's low volume. Don't be afraid to stand on the sidelines. And also, if you don't want to get assigned, definitely keep that in mind too. You don't want to hold unless it's part of your trading plan, right? But you don't want to get assigned over the weekend. That's never a good time. So good stuff there. Okay, so there's WC looking interesting. And then Microsoft, we just looked at on that one, kind of putting together a double inside hamburger on that one, so that could be interesting. And then Plug. Yeah, big push on this one today too. Nice earnings, a little bit of a gap and go, and then pulled back on that one. So let's see if that can hold big upper shadow on that. And you, Alma, what's going on? Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much. You're so kind for saying that. Let's take a look here. So we got Low. Low actually had a big morning this morning. Low and Home Depot had some strong mornings, right? It just kind of turned into like a little bit of a block handle day, but big opens this morning on those guys, and then a nasty pullback right there, and then a little bit of a drift up at the end of the day. I think it's almost a 786 retracement on that one. So we got Low. So let's see if we get some follow through on that one. Roku. I love how it came down, you guys. We've talked about triangles before and how the middle of triangles can become support, right? So we did gap down in the middle of the triangle right here. Now let's see if we can try to work its way back up out of that, right? So I think they had better than expected earnings, and so let's see if we can try to move again from there. And then ATVI, very nice on this one. So it got a nice gap on this too. So this also had some unusual call activity recently, even after earnings, and so it got a nice gap up on that one. Kind of starting to look like a hanging man up there. So just be careful with that. Nike, Schnikes. So Nike, just kind of a pause day here today. So that was the one thing I didn't like about yesterday's candle, right? Was the lower volume, right? It's not as much conviction. It's like, we want to see like some volume coming into that. But this could be a nice pause day. I like how like a little jack in the box type thing, right? So a little measured move potential on that. So let's see how that goes on there. But I do like that inside day on Nike. So definitely want to keep on the radar as well. So Michael, AAOI, big earnings beat, nice. So it's up to $17. Gap and go potential on this one, guys. So $17. So again, let's see how it holds. Let's see if it can clear 1850. It's got some work to do to get there tomorrow. So it's got to get up here for it to really be a good gap and go. But we'll see how that holds going in tomorrow. But yeah, big beat on that one. Zynga. Yeah, so Zynga, kind of like, yay, and then no, right? Kind of pulled back pretty hard on that one. But why, right? So it's, like we always say, earnings, can we get over any of these levels? No. Do we get anywhere close to there? No. Do we get close to this pivot level? Do we get close to this pivot level here after hours? No. We couldn't even get above the pre-market highs, which is right there. So it's a good candidate for a reversal, and then boom, worked its way down. Right? So let's see how it holds. It's right at the ADMA, so maybe it'll consolidate and try to build from there. Good stuff. Adam, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, so Apple again, double inside day up today. It was a beautiful one on the radar, right? So it really kind of turns into like a nice little pennant pattern right there and started to break out of that one. Break it out in volumes. Got X dividend tomorrow, so it might dip a little bit off of that, but we're going to really evaluate this one, see if we get some nice bullish follow through on that one. So hopefully it does. And then, good stuff. Thanks, Adam. And then ZEK, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Let's say with Netflix. Netflix, yeah. So wow, 509 on this one. So it's down. It's down a little bit after hours, but really, really low volume on Netflix today. That's kind of the only disturbing thing on Netflix. So it's one of the lowest volume days we've seen in a while. It does look like it's forming a sideways head and shoulders pattern here. So let's see how that plays out. Watch to see how it handles this trend line, once it gets there. And, when it gets there, if it does. It could go forever, I suppose. But that could be interesting. That could be setting up for a big break to the downside. But right now, it's just kind of hanging in there, holding the 80 MA, so it's got that going for it, which is good. And then Mickey D's. Yeah, so the Dow is really strong this morning, guys. And there's been news on McDonald's. Like, McDonald's going up for no reason. Right? So I saw a news post on that one. It's kind of forming a mini cup and handle right here. So it may actually be kind of breaking out of that if I draw a little bit tighter right here. So yeah, so pretty strong McDonald's. Great move at the open today, right? And let's see if we get any more follow through on this one. Who knows? Maybe there's some news brewing on it or something like that. Come out. Maybe the McRib is coming back or the McDLT, and that'll really get things going. Tesla, so got really really tight right here. So let's see if it gives us some Friday fun on that one. J Moss, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Let's see look at Boeing. Yeah, so Boeing, right? We had the nice doji sandwich up yesterday. We came right into the cloud, but it ended up being a little bit of ceiling resistance right there. Big horizontal cloud. Again, I'm waiting for some news on this one to see if this thing can really get going. But generally, it has given a good move, right? So that's one of the things that we like. So let's see if we can get some more follow through on that one. The Jets, again, just kind of calm down a little bit today. They're also running into their cloud as well. Facebook was just awesome today. Great call out on the live stream this morning. This is one of our members pointed this out. We're like, yeah, it looks pretty inside day, right? Remember yesterday we talked about the invisible flagpole, right, from the earnings gap, right? So we got a flagpole, and then once we broke through that geometric level right here, right? So you can see how nice that was. If we just go, what was this on default? No, it's on C9. Let's go there. There, right? So you can see here, right? We got what I really love about Facebook today is this. Right, so an opening candle right here, but that second candle was bullish to get over the 15 orb high with more volume than the opening candle. Right, that's huge. That's a big indicator to show that there's some serious buying going on here, and they just bought it up all day and just rode that 80 MA up. So that's a really really key thing. Good, and then Mickey D's, yeah, just a nice day today. It does look like it's trying to break out of this cup and handle pattern right here, right? So let's just continue to keep an eye on it, right? It's got some interesting levels above. We had a big drop, so let's see how that gets tested. But yeah, it could be interesting. It's a tricky one to trade with options, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, then that's AAOI with a 5-year downtrend break. Let's see. Let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah. Well, it's got some work to do, so let's see. So really, if you go here to here, we're right at it. So not to be Buzz Killington on that one, but if it does gap up here, if we can get over the 1850, we could see a move. So let's keep an eye on that. Looking good in the neighborhood. So it could be interesting. Great find on that, the Nest. So let's take a look. Hope you're doing well. Let's look at Piton. Yeah, it's Piton kind of hanging in there. The iBuy was strong. Yesterday gave a little bit of a move and just a little bit kind of a annoying pullback there today on that one. So let's see how that holds, but it's still holding the 80 MA on that one. Domino's just trudging along right here. So it's like we said yesterday, I'd like to see you get over that level. Johnny, what's going on? Good evening. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla again. Really tight in here in the triangle, so we're gonna hope maybe Friday gives a little bit of a breakout on that one. Shop is still kind of trudging its way up there, so holding trend and being strong. Spotify again, nice little bounce on that one. Retag of the 80 MA, so just check, make sure that's not a retest, and then another push back down. Netflix again, low volume today, right? So still hanging in there. And then Zoom. Zoom had the inside day up yesterday, and today it gave you a bigger inside day, but a nice bounce off of the 80 MA. So let's see how those levels hold. And then True. Whoa! Huge move on that one. Look at that one. Goodness gracious. True Pinion. Medical insurance for your pet. I love it. Double inside 15. Triangle. Hold the 80 MA up today. What an amazing move on that one today. Incredible stuff. Beautiful. And then Netties. Let's take a look at netties on this one. Inside day, decent volume as we head into earnings, so maybe a little bit of earnings on that one. Just be careful, China name. FSLR again, we've had an epic move on the solar names. I'm sorry, I typed in the wrong one. FSLR. You'll still see that we had an epic move on these. Yeah, so an epic move on the solar names, and then inside day today, and then earnings. After hours, let's see how that did. And it was up, and then it's back down and kind of flat. So we'll see how it goes with there. But again, solar's been pretty strong for a couple days. FSLY. I like how it's holding the trend line right there. So let's see if that doji is good for a bounce. And then Roku. Back to the middle of the triangle, right? So let's see how that holds the support. It did give it a decent bounce intraday, guys. We've talked about the 2B reversal here before. So that's what we got here today. See this? We had a low, and then we thrust through the low right there. So that's an entry over that level with a stop down here, right? And it wasn't amazing, but it did get a move up to the 15 orb low on that one today. So we'd like to see more follow through on it, but they did have pretty rough earnings, and it was getting slammed today. So, but it's holding the middle of the that congestion on that triangle. Calyx. Let's take a look. So we got this. And a really tight trend right there. So, yeah, I mean, bullish still proving otherwise on that one. So let's see if we continue to hold. And then ALB. ALB, yeah, a little bit of nasty pullback on that one. Earnings. Yeah, just kind of pulled back of earnings off there. I mean, definitely wasn't a gap. It goes. That's kind of annoying, right? It's like yay, we're doing great. Oh no, this is not good, right? So it made it a rough day today for it. So blah, just still in that range bound. Good stuff. Thanks to this. X Country Kev, what's happening? Yeah, so Zoom big inside day today, kind of red, but still holding the ADMA on this one. So let's see how that holds. And then Walmart. Oh, we got great minds thinking alike here tonight. Nice. I love it. Yeah, so Walmart looking pretty interesting here, guys. I mean, upper shadow here off the ADMA. Inside, I mean, it still looks heavy, right? I mean, they just came out with some news that they're doing a drive-through in their parking lots, which is pretty crazy. But the big thing is that they're not, delivering on their prime news that they're talking about, and that's kind of what got things started here. So it's like, maybe it should go back here before the prime news, or maybe at least halfway. I'd say we can't really do it yet. Maybe it'll just come down halfway. We'll see. Keep an eye on Walmart. It could be interesting to the short side. I'm going to put it on the short radar tomorrow speculatively, and then see how that goes from there. And we'll keep Apple on the bullish radar too. So just to see if we get some follow through on that. Just watch the ex dividend on Apple tomorrow. So yeah, Michael, exactly. Yeah, Apple carrying the market, exactly. So just a big move, big double inside day up, and hey, it's one of the highest weighted ones on everything. So it can do it if it wants to, right? So and then the the split coming up pretty soon. It'd be interesting how far they push it. It'd be so annoying, right, if they push it up to like $1,600 and they do like a 4-to-1 stock split. We're back where we were here today. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Good stuff. Seahawk, what's going on? Amazon. So Amazon, pretty interesting, right? So Amazon, yes, let's get that loaded up right here. So kind of low volume right here. It's really I want to see it get over this 3250 level with some strength on that one, and then maybe it can give another push up to try to test its earnings high, right? Or the pre-earnings high, all-time high. And Tesla again. Everybody looking at Tesla here getting really, really tight. It tried to make a breakout today. Maybe tomorrow's the day on a Friday. That would be pretty fun. The next, yeah, Futu. Wow, bearish engulfing candle on that one. It would be cool if it engulfed the entire candle, but the real body's engulfing, so that's still pretty important on that one. Pretty bearish on that. Pretty bearish looking setup, right? So IIPR with a doji sandwich up. So it's a nice move off of that one there too. And let's see if that gets any follow through as well. And good stuff. And then you got, oh yeah, pizza time. Pizza time. Let's take a look. Pizza time. Pizza down $1.61. Lower shadow on this one. We had earnings. Let's take a look here. So earnings today is kind of blah. It's flat as a pizza. So, but it is only 80 man on that one. Baba again. We looked at yesterday. Up about 77 cents today. Decent hammer there. Nasty pullback this morning, but bounced off the ADMA, which is pretty cool. And then FSLR, 3-year downtrend break. Oh yeah, look at that. Whew. Crazy. We'll see. It's really been range bound here in the on the monthly side here. So let's see if I can give a little more breakout action on that. Good stuff. All right, awesome. Christian, what's going on? Good to see you. Discord link. Yeah, you have to join the group, right? But once you join the group, you get a welcome email. It's got the Discord link in there and everything like that. So, but it's a really good deal. It's like I don't know, what do we like, about $1 a day or so, or $1.50 a day. To have a great community and a great group, it's definitely worth it. And we point out some great stuff too, plus the news and options and all that stuff. Really, really fun stuff, and a great group. To do it like everybody here. Tracy, what's going on? Good evening. STMP. Oh yeah, STMP, the one that you only trade for earnings. This is such a gambling stock right here. It always does something crazy on earnings, right? So let's see what it did this time. Yep, it always loves to go like $100 for earnings. It's hilarious. It always does this. But down today, and get those call lottos, and see where Stamp goes after earnings. It's crazy. Stamp is such a crazy one for earnings. It's only tradable for earnings. It's so funny. Sometimes the gaps have just been so huge on it. TTD, looking pretty good a little bit up here, trying to work its way up here to earnings. Got some big levels to get above going into tomorrow, so keep an eye on that one. And then Big C, the Big C, big conference. So 2 days on the IPO right here, broke out of the IPO hope for a momentum move, right, and kind of came back in range right there. So, definitely something to keep an eye on there, see how it holds. Good stuff. Mr. Fishbone, what's going on? CBNA, let's take a look. Oh, went absolutely insane. Yeah, I would say so. How about Carvana? Oh my goodness. Wow. So let's take a look here. So talk about a gap and go on this one today. Wow. Yeah, so it cleared all the pre-market levels, cleared the prior day's highs, and just launched today. Wow. Really, really amazing stuff. Big $200 price target increase, and just good. Wow, amazing. Wow. Incredible. Also, did anyone get stopped out of their Apple trade on that first triangle? Yeah, so Apple was a little bit tricky right there, right? So we caught a momentum move at the open this morning, and we don't like to, we like to take profit, when we're up nicely at the open, because we get those momentum moves right here. So we caught that move right there and banked. But yeah, that is an annoying pullback right there for sure. But this is a setup right here. Double inside 15 over the 80 MA, and then that just went off of that, right? Because once you go here to the 5-minute chart, right, I mean, you can kind of go to a lower time frame entry on that right here. Here's your triangle, breakout, good. Increase volume right here, and let it ride. So nice stuff on that one. But yeah, at the open, we just got to give it, because anything could happen at the open, right? So just got to give it the, let it do its pullbacks. Very, very annoying. I know. I totally agree. Yep, CDLX, let's take a look. See the nice lower shadow there, hammerish type move. Yeah, it's kind of hanging in there in the cloud. Shams, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So Uber, yeah. So we were joking about this at the close, right? We're like, wow, this is really bullish, right? We wanted to get over this level and this level. This is what we would talk about in our newsletter too. We're like, once Uber clears these levels, right, this thing's getting ready to go. And it did it today. It was like bullish candle right here. Doji sandwich up, really, really strong. It's probably going to go down on earnings. Right, and so it did. So it's a pretty fight stuff. We'll see how the holds going tomorrow. It's got some huge levels on that one, so we'll see. Big range to deal with tomorrow, but we'll see what kind of direction it takes after earnings. Yeah, CVNA, great find on that one. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the bullish radar tomorrow just for fun, so everybody can look at that one. Just a great find on that one. Let's go CVNA. We did Apple yesterday. Apple's on our bullish radar yesterday, so CVNA. AMD, I think, looks interesting too. We're gonna put that on the radar as well. So good stuff. Michael Phillips, AMD, yeah, oh, good, yeah. I like the double pause down AMD. I'm hoping that gives a nice move on that one. Yeah, CVNA, we just looked at the Nest, but Vroom, right, exactly. So there's another car kind of delivery-ish type thing. So nice sympathy on that one. Good push on that as well. And then GSX. Wow, yeah, big move on GSX too. Wow, incredible stuff. Let's see if we get some follow through. Yeah, Michael, overstock's ridiculously scary. I mean, it's really ridiculous. I mean, it basically hit to 100. I mean, it was $2 4 months ago, and just been plowing its way up right here. I mean, that with Bitcoin and all that stuff, it's amazing. Usama, what's going on? Good to see you. Amazon. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Amazon, low volume here. I really want to see it get over these levels, right? Try to push above there. Maybe we'll get a momentum move through that tomorrow. Tesla getting really, really tight, right? So we want to see if that gives us a breakout. Apple with a big move today, going ex-dividend tomorrow. So we're going to evaluate, see what kind of candle we get then. right? Facebook with a huge day today, guys. We talked about that earlier too with the invisible flag pull, and then broke its way out of that range there to continue to push to all-time highs. And then Netflix can run hard, maybe it needs some volume. So maybe this low volume is a nice little pause. I prefer to see this kind of low volume here on a pullback. It's hard unless we get some volume coming in, it's hard to see it doing a breakout on that. But anything could happen over these levels, right? So there's some good ones there. So good stuff. The Nest. So breaking President Trump's executive orders ban TikTok and WeChat in 45 days. There you go. Yay! More drama. CVA, I know, isn't that crazy? Weekly contracts from 5 cents to over $10. Really incredible. And then the stock line. Really just amazing stuff there. Square again, inside day today. So we're going to look for some strength on that one to see how that goes. AYX. AYX, yeah, nasty pullback in AYX there after the earnings run right there. SK, so is Disney bullish tomorrow? Better take profits. Disney's a tough one to trade. I mean, it's looking pretty good right here. It's a good close. I would just evaluate it to see if it holds and, could push through those highs and give another move. But I love how it broke out over those pivot levels and then closed above yesterday's highs. Tilray. Inside day down, right? The pot stocks are so annoying. Big candle on that one, then a pullback on that. AZN. Let's take a look. Yeah, AZN too. Just so tricky with some of these names right here, and then the PFE too. Yeah, just more biotech kind of stuff. So again, news driven, really, really challenging. So yeah, it's a question: do you think buying long-term options and keeping them for months is a wise idea? It depends, right? I mean, it depends if it goes up or not, right? I mean, look, if you've got a long-term setup, right, then you want to go farther out and you want to go deeper in the money, right? So, because it's going to trade more like the stock, right? So a stock could go like this, right, like Pfizer. You could go long here on the stock, right, and have, all this. So you go long here on the stock, right? And your stop is below here, whatever the case is, right? It pulls back and then it works its way back up and you're fine, right? But if you do that with options, right, especially if you're closer dated, you can get crushed, right? It's going to be a lot harder for it to work its way back up, right? But if you're further dated out with a higher delta, you have a higher chance for it moving like the stock, but it's a lot more expensive. But you got to have a good setup, right? So I mean, just buying something and holding it. I mean, a super bullish market, yeah, sometimes it makes sense, but you always want to have a setup to do. The McRib and the McDLT, Michael, the McDLT, SLV. Let's say, incredible. I mean, silver and gold, just incredible how it's been moving up with the market right here. Really makes the whole up move really, really suspicious. Yeah, Johnny, my pleasure. Keon, what's going on? Roku. Yeah, so Roku came back down in the middle of that triangle. So the real question is going to be stuck in there with everything else. Last time, or is it going to try to give a move out there? It needs some upgrades. Some catalyst to really get it going again. YY. Nice. So YY, nice little outside day today. So let's see if we can push above those highs and get out of that cloud. So yeah, so TikTok banned. What do you think is gonna be bad for it? Yeah, it could be. It could be bad. It could be good for Facebook, guys. That's one of the reasons that Facebook ran today, because they came out, they announced like this similar thing for their Instagram, as an alternative for TikTok, right? So that was one of the big news on that one today. So pretty interesting stuff there. And then pins, right? Pins could be interesting too. Yeah, so keep an eye on that one. Inside day, see if they give us a push up as well. So good stuff. So yeah, so Microsoft again has been really funky right here. Let's see, it's been a drama name right here. It's been a tough one to trade on this TikTok stuff, but it hasn't been as smooth as it normally trades with options. It's a little bit, the volatility's been a little bit higher. So yeah, that goes right there. That TikTok news might affect it as well. So that's also apparently, if this just came out, is after the after hours trading. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. That could be interesting. Apple again, ex-dividend tomorrow. See how that holds. Might give a little bit of pullback on that one. Then we'll evaluate that. See where that goes from there. Yeah, Geo. Yeah. So UPS. Again, the transports are strong today, mostly riding on the coattails of the KSX move, right? So, the Kansas, what is it? The Kansas KSU. Well, it's already acquisition stuff, but big move on that one today that helped drive some of the transports up on that one, right? So big acquisition news on that here. So good. So Triple M again, this was pretty bullish too. Again, more adding strength to the Dow this morning, so that was a good one. TMUS, just kind of hanging in there on that one. Gap and go candidate on TMUS. We had earnings going on this one. Let's see, it's got to get over 112. Yeah, if it's at 114, I think that does look good. Yeah, now it's got to get over 117. So it could be. It's just got. It gave us some annoying levels here to deal with into tomorrow. So let's see how it sets up in the morning. And then what else? Beyond. Yeah, inside day on this one. Just really annoying after earnings on that one. Yep. Zoom Info making a nice move on that one into earnings, so it's had a nice earnings one on that. And then RTX, really tough one to trade, but it's really, this one likes to follow Boeing, right? So if we do have some global conflict, right, it could be going. But LMT is usually the better go-to on that. Good stuff. So Michael, how can the market even go down with the dollar weakening and Fed printing? It's a what? I know exactly. Yeah, STMP long-term options would have done well. Yeah, same with Tesla a long time ago. Obviously, if the stock goes up, it's going to be great. It's just this is how you do it, right? So take that news is going to be new. No noon in Republic. Nice, Michael. So never heard it say, but certainly keep an eye on it now. What's your prediction for the suggestion? Yeah, you don't want to trade stamp. In my opinion, especially with options. If there's no volume on it, there's no open interest. You're really taking a big risk on it, right? So just be careful with stamps.com. But yeah, that's the idea. Obviously, if you buy it here and it goes up a lot, you're gonna make money on it, right? But you need a setup. That's the idea. So anyway, good stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. This has been a great discussion this week on option flow. I hope you guys found it helpful. Again, really appreciate everybody's support. Please be sure to click the if you're new here, click the subscribe button and the notification button to see when we do videos. And also be sure to hit the like button. We always like that and appreciate that. Even if you're watching the recording on this one, we like that too. Christian, yes, a Groupon. Just kind of getting really tight in there. Oh, big gap up to like 21, but that basically brings you up to the 50-day moving average. Just be careful with that one too. DBX. Yeah, exactly. You never know where it's going. So DBX up to 20. Yeah, it's kind of chopping around there after earnings. And G Pro. Yeah, GoPro. It's got kind of that Google News type or Fitbit type stuff. Yeah, kind of keep an eye on it right there. See how it holds. It's down a little bit on some earnings type stuff. But it's just it could give a reversal. Kind of cheapo type stuff. Yeah. So good stuff. Yeah, just exactly what it is. Yeah, exactly. I know what it is on stamps. Options are crazy on that one. Yeah, that's a crazy name to trade, guys. So yeah, I think you need to do really you gotta really research like setups and stuff, at chart patterns and things like that, right? You don't just buy options randomly. You can get lucky, right? But I just be really careful with that stuff for sure. UVXY, there was some heavy flow on UVXY recently, so ultra short. We'll see how that goes on that one. And why does the recording take forever to show? I don't know, Reed. I'm not sure, Carl. YouTube still have some issues. Yeah, that could be it too. So anyway, good stuff, guys. Once again, really appreciate everybody. Definitely click subscribe if you're new here. Also hit the like button, please. And be sure to check the links in the description. If you're interested in joining our group, the links are on our website. Right? You get a newsletter on the weekend where we evaluate the market. And you get our private Twitter and our Discord, too, where we also have news flow in there and some option flow, too, which is pretty cool. And a really great group. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful and blessed weekend. And we'll see you guys on Sunday and also tomorrow morning on the YouTube videos. And we'll see you guys then. So stay healthy out there and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.